Hey there, Leo. It's Ashley. We're going to be doing your reading for the middle of November. So this reading will be good for the week of November 15th. We're going to look at a strength, a challenge, and a potential outcome that might be coming up for you this week. It will not resonate for every Leo out there, so be sure to check your other placements. And let's get started here. I wanted to mention, if you don't already follow me on Instagram and you are on Instagram and that's something you're interested in, I do daily Monday through Friday updates on the collective energy. I talk about the astrology as well as I pull some tarot, and every now and then I do a channeled song of the day. So if that's something you're interested in, the link for that is down in the description box. All right, let's see what's going on for Leo for the week of November 15th. We have the Nine of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the Five of Swords, the King of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and the Page of Wands, the Empress, the Eight of Cups, and the Three of Swords. Very interesting. Okay, at the bottom of the deck we have the Ten of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is your center card here, but I'm seeing a lot of challenge showing up in the spread for love in particular. And we're going to look more into that because we do have the King and Queen of Swords. We're going to see how this Ten of Cups is showing up for you. It could very well be an ending to a union or a loving relationship dynamic. Something that was potentially very emotionally fulfilling for you in the past. But it does feel like it might be something you are walking away from at this time. Now, let's get into this. In your strength, we have go with the flow. It says letting go, cleansing, and receiving. So I do feel like you're definitely kind of, whether you're a man or a woman, or what gender identification you have, I do feel like you're kind of stepping into more of a feminine energy here, in that you're trying to just go with the flow. You're trying to release anything that once released. Whereas in the past, you may have been quite headstrong in this. You may have been persevering for a long time. And so I feel like what it's trying to say here is that your strength for the week might just be in letting something go here, rather than holding on and persevering like this Nine of Wands, or being too logical in your head with this King of Swords. It may be that stepping into your Empress energy, your feminine energy, is your best bet for the week, because that puts you more in a state of flow, right? And as I say that, I'm seeing this waterfall behind her on this card. So certainly could be stepping more into some feminine energy, regardless of if you're normally dominant feminine or dominant masculine. So I hope that makes sense. Let's get some more here. Could definitely be dealing with some Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We got strong Libra in particular, as well as Taurus. So let's see what's going on. Why do we have the Nine of Wands? We have the Five of Swords and the Two of Wands. With the King of Swords, we have Justice and the Page of Pentacles. And with the Empress, we have the Page of Wands and the King of Wands. So, I feel like with this Five of Swords and Two of Wands clarifying that Nine of Wands, that's that wounded warrior energy, that perseverance and keeping going. I feel like you've kind of been in this space of being stuck with a choice on whether or not it was something you were going to keep doing here. Like, were you going to keep going in this situation, or were you going to let it go? Because I think ultimately what you're looking to manifest here is something that is balanced for yourself, something that's equal, right? But I'm also, I will say here, with this King of Swords and the Justice card showing up here, there may have been such a strong focus on feeling vindicated, like being right. I do feel that. I feel like at some point, and it could very well have been leading up to now, up to this week, with that Five of Swords also showing up there, that can be like this winner-take-all energy. And I feel like for a period of time, you may have been like trying to prove something, trying to show or demonstrate that you were willing to cut out anything that wasn't truth, that you were willing to cut out anything that wasn't balanced. But I'm feeling it more like, not because it almost felt like a polarity issue, like perhaps there was a really bad imbalance at some point and you went way to the other side, right? Like now you're like winner takes all, and it almost feels very cold and unyielding is what I want to say. But I think ultimately, deep down, the goal for you has always been to just find balance, manifest it, you know, sit in a place of truth, have a balance within your relationships, and it not be this ongoing like fight, right? Like I kind of feel like in a situation here, it was taking so much work, right? And I do feel like this week you may be faced with the choice on whether to work with it or to let it go, right? I think part of what's interesting here is that you're showing up here strongly as this King of Wands, Page of Wands, Empress energy. I think that you may definitely have some communication going on here with these pages showing up. But I'm feeling more with this King of Wands, you want to nurture something that's going to grow here, right? And I do feel like while you're kind of in this position of stepping into your feminine and getting more in the flow, right? Rather than in this very logic-based kind of state of being. Ultimately, I think that while you're looking for balance, you also want to see the potential in something. And I think that that's been a struggle. Now it is showing up in your row for strength here. So I feel like your decision here is going to be easier than maybe it's been in the past. Maybe this is a choice that you've been faced with, and you know, you were fighting for it, not sure if you should keep fighting or just let it go. And now I feel like you're going to be able to just step more into receiving, seeing what happens. But I think that the signifier for you will be, you'll know what to do because it'll be something that's like, it's inspiring. It lights you up, right? It doesn't make you feel mental and conflicted in your head here. It's something that like ignites passion. And you'll know because you're like, oh, this has somewhere that it's going to go. Like it's not going to just be this ongoing conflict here. I hope that makes sense. In the challenge position, excuse me, we have child orphan. It says, independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. So, with this being in the challenge position, I do feel like there's been some resistance to walk away from something here because there was some sort of security associated with it. It may not have actually been all that physically secure or stable, but because it was something you knew, it felt better to stick with it than to walk away, if that makes sense. We have the Queen of Swords, Ace of Cups, Eight of Cups. I do feel like you're walking away from this dynamic here, or this Queen of Cups or Queen of Swords is walking away from it. But I feel like ultimately I feel like you're entering a bit of a dark night of the soul here. With the Eight of Cups, you know, he's kind of walking into the wilderness here with just the moon to light his way, which is essentially that feminine energy. He's just following his intuition, but he's going into the darkness. It's going to kind of take him on a journey through the shadows, through perhaps some painful emotions, but ultimately, on the other side of it is, you know, new potential, right? So, could very well be an interesting journey up ahead. Let's get some more detail here. See if we can narrow this down a bit. The Queen of Swords. We have the Four of Pentacles. And the Ten of Cups. So if you're dealing with a counterpart here, I do think you've been holding on to this. Again, probably holding on to it because at some point it was good. At some point it was emotionally satisfying, right? At one point it was your happiness, and it became sort of a comfort zone. With the Ace of Cups, we have the King of Pentacles. So some Taurus showing up, and the Knight of Wands. I think ultimately you're kind of looking for new passion, new beginning here. Could definitely be dealing with a Taurus coming into your experience here. And so you're having to choose to walk away from something of the past. We've got Taurus showing up here as the Empress and this King of Pentacles. And then we have all this fire energy, which to me would be you, Leo, in this angle here. So it could very well be that, you know, that stability, that new thing that has the potential for growth and abundance has already or is about to show up for you, but it's going to require you to release something of the past. the Eight of Cups. We have the Three of Wands. And the Four of Wands. So I do feel like you walking away from this Queen of Swords energy, this past counterpart, this past Ten of Cups, is going to allow you to expand. But, I want to say but, you have to go through this dark night, this dark exploration that I was talking about in order to get there. It's like you're at the starting line and you have to go through this dark night. And then at the finish line is the Four of Wands. So there's a potential here for a union, perhaps with someone new. A Taurus, again, doesn't have to be. But it's just something that has the potential for growth here. But it's almost like you have to go through kind of this depth to get there. Now, it does look like that's what you decide to do, because the outcome is the void. And that's where we go back to the womb. We kind of go into a winter in our life. It says, stop, embrace winter, the great cosmic wound. So we return to 0 point. And there's Five of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the Three of Swords. So I do feel like there could be a lot of inner conflict that gets dealt with here. There could be a lot of pain that needs to be explored as you kind of walk off into the darkness. It's not going to be, not that any trip into the void is easy, right? Because we go there to explore the depths of ourselves and really see ourselves. And then there's healing, of course, in the void. We have like this, it's almost like an incubation period where we kind of heal. We learn some things about our inner world, and then we come out the other side ready for the next leg of our journey. So let's see what's going on with all this. Five of Swords. We have the Ace of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. With the Page of Wands, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So, yep, going in, doing the work, self-work. We have the Ace of Wands. And I think it's interesting because we've got these aces showing up here. I think kind of as you go into this deep exploration of self, there's also the potential for these new beginnings. But they're just potentials. So to go into this healing, to go into this inner conflict that needs some investigating, it creates the potentials for you, but you have to go through it to get there, right? With the Three of Swords, we got the Nine of Cups and the Four of Cups. So I do feel like it's interesting with that. The Nine of Cups is like dream come true energy. The Four of Cups can be like an offer that comes in from the universe. But more what I feel from that is there may have been, with all this perseverance energy that you've had, you may have been almost hiding from some of the pain underneath. There could have even been some drinking going on, or just some indulgences to kind of buffer from the pain that was underneath. Maybe you go shopping to, distract yourself, or maybe you like to go partying with your friends, or whatever it may be. That's more what I'm feeling with this. So it does look like some dark night energy coming this direction. But ultimately, it's a reset. It sets you up for the next leg of the journey, but not until you've gone in and done the healing. So I hope that was helpful, Leo, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.